Hello everyone, I'm Keni Mac Reel. Good morning, Margot and Chris, everyone at home. I'm Keni Mac Reel, reporting live in San Angelo. I'm Keni Mac Reel. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Should we jump in the pool? Because I think we should. Don't mind me, I'm just going to get right back on this cot here. I may or may not be back to work in the next few minutes because I'll probably fall asleep right here. I just had to stop this gentleman who was crazy running in shorts. You can see this, it's snow. So why are you out here so early running in shorts? I'm ice skating right now on this sidewalk.
No one's breaking a sweat yet, so we're going to make sure they do. Ready, set, go. Until you break a sweat, you can't stop.
Oh, I think I'm about to break a machine.
It's been a while since I've been to the dentist, not going to lie.
This is metal. That's metal, and water did this.
And this bite soup.
We're live this morning at Greene County Courthouse where Rachel Stouty is expected to be sentenced for killing members of her own family. Slick roads this morning. We are on them, about to give you updates on road conditions and trouble spots to look out for. This is some thick ice on this car. This is what you're going to be seeing when you wake up in the morning. I mean, there is no getting through that ice right now. The cold is not stopping these folks from standing up for what they believe in. About 70 workers out here carrying these signs, unfair labor practice stripe here at the Polar Tank trailer off of Kearney. Bad news is we are slowly removing some huge debris off of these roads here. You can see these aren't some little sticks. This is definitely some big logs that you need to watch out for. They can really damage your car. Someone was shot and killed in this home behind me, Jerry. We are standing on the 700 block of Maple Street in Buffalo. I just got off the phone with Chief Canal of the Buffalo Police Department. He told me that this is still an ongoing investigation. Justin, inside the walls of this school is a room that can withstand 250-mile-per-hour winds and an EF5 tornado. Fun new devices like this laptop here, for instance. And not only do they get to play with the laptop in the classroom, but they get to take them home with them. You can see this cloudy layer of film under the lens of the eyeball. That is a cataract. One doctor says to think of it as a grape. Construction began here at Ozark Junior High yesterday. The district essentially wants to put walls on this walkway here. This policy change is meant to protect students, faculty, staff, and all employees based on their sexual orientation. Police say Wood snatched Owens from a West Springfield street near her home. They say he then assaulted her before shooting her in the head. Her body was later found in his home, wrapped in 2 trash bags and placed in a tote box. This is a vacant building, one of the many in the area, not well kept, and essentially a waste of space. You should have a pretty smooth drive to work wherever you might be going today. Stay safe and stay warm, guys. Back to you. 10-year-old Grace Everett says her Christmas didn't kick off to the best start.
Well, I cried for about 2 days because I was just so sad because I loved it so much. It wasn't a very good Christmas present.
She and her 7-year-old brother Daniel received news that their favorite school program was coming to an end.
I don't want them to shut down Sage next year.
The Seymour Area Gifted Education Program is for students who excel in academics. But Grace and Daniel's mother, Jana, says it's much more than that.
It's really going to affect a lot of kids.
It's a place where students who love to learn can fit in. And it's made all the difference for her kids.
We went from school was okay, school was fine, to in Sage we did this.
The Seymour School District was forced to make budget cuts after they began to struggle financially. The SAGE program, one of the many to go, along with instructional positions, $120,000 in salary, and the closing of a preschool.
The thing that I have the biggest problem is there are no sports programs being cut. They're all academic programs being cut.
I reached out to Seymour Superintendent Bruce Denny, who did not want to be on camera, but stated in an email, not a single one of these cuts were desirable for me or the Board of Education, but we are tasked with operating the school district effectively and efficiently. The school might be struggling financially, but to this family, SAGE is what makes its students successful.
Why are you shutting it down when it means so much to others?
Unfortunately, just academics are not at the top of the school board's priority right now.
Now, Daniel actually suffers from a neurological disease that has caused him to miss 14 days of class already this year, yet he still remains at the top of his class. And Grace actually went in front of the school board twice to try to keep this program running. It was not successful, but she did say she did see more than a few people shedding tears in that room, so she was pleased that she could make an impact.
You have to get used to it. You have to adjust. We're here to learn how to save lives.
While most civilians are just getting out of bed to start their workday, Shane Lawson and the other hundreds of men and women in fire training at Goodfellow Air Force Base are halfway through theirs.
I typically wake up at 4 a.m., show up for formation by 4:40, have to be shaved, room cleaned up a little bit, breakfast after that. Usually get to the high bay around 5:30, get our gear on, and get ready for the day.
It's about 7 a.m. The sun is just now coming out, and the teams behind me are just now putting their practice in against the flames.
23-year-old Lawson, originally from Jacksonville, Florida, began his 68-day protection apprentice course at Goodfellow in December.
It's a lot to take in when you first start, but once you get the concepts down, and you just rely on your buddy beside you.
But the airman says there is one thing that will take some getting used to.
The gear gets really hot. The mask, a little harder to breathe, and you're on a limited supply of air, so it's kind of a mental thing.
So how do you control that?
There's a couple techniques they taught us. Skip breathing, where you'll breathe in once, you maybe breathe out twice, or you breathe in twice, breathe out once, just to calm yourself, slow the heart rate. There's also controlled breathing. It's just pacing your breaths, really.
2,650 students passed through Goodfellow's fire training in 2014. The days for airmen and women are anything but easy in the training field, all things blood, sweat, and tears. But at the end of the day, Lawson says it's the energy of his peers that keeps him motivated.
It's contagious. You come to work with a bunch of guys that are ready to work and get the job done. It makes it a lot easier.
Kendra McNamara, Fox News First.
3 years ago, Amy Blansett and her late husband bought Fairbanks Elementary.
Kind of fell into place.
An abandoned school in North Springfield.
We had marks where they had actually started fires on the floors during the winter to keep warm.
The Missouri State professor says the story of the property was once about her past, losing her husband to cancer and creating a foundation in his honor. But now it's about moving forward and building an environment they would be proud of.
It's a huge risk, but it's amazing payoff.
She says North Springfield's poverty hasn't always been a focus, so she took it upon herself to provide resources in her Grant Beach neighborhood. Phase 1 was completed in the summer of 2014.
These sections here were the old push cart that went under the gym.
It includes a library and offices. Less than 2 years later, the grand opening of Phase 2, a daycare, event center that serves as a church, and commercial kitchen.
The kitchen will function for the daycare in the morning, but then afternoons and evening we're creating programming with the YMCA, so we'll do feeding programs for the kids in Springfield.
And finally, Phase 3, a laundromat and community market, and the last stretch before her dream is complete. In just 3 years, Amy and her helpful volunteers have been able to serve over 50 families a week. Piece by piece, her dream is coming true, and that old abandoned school is now what some might call a sanctuary.
It's been amazing to see Springfield come together in a project just because someone created action, a place to go and do and be a part of something that's making a difference. Even though it might be a really small part of Springfield, it's changing the lives of the families that we serve.